Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from and what time of the day it is. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us. I'm really honored today because I got to have a conversation with someone who I truly admire and respect, both on a personal and a professional level. Um, my very own mentor, Dr. Jennifer Chang Wathall. Jenny, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, David, for inviting me and those very generous words as well. I'm delighted to be here and hopefully share some ideas about AI-powered pedagogy with you.
Excellent. And, for the kind words, if I wanted to start, it wouldn't, end now. But talking about AI powered pedagogy, what is that all about?
I decided to create this model of AI-powered pedagogy because I'd been to so many EdTech conferences, I'd been to lots of workshops on EdTech tools and AI, and there was this huge focus all the time on selling different tools and learning how to use different tools. And for me, what was important was actually harmonizing AI principles with effective pedagogical principles. So
Mm,
AI-powered pedagogy involves AI principles such as ethical use and looking at biases and stereotypes. And pedagogical principles include principles like inquiry-based learning and teaching for deep conceptual understanding. So for me, AI-powered pedagogy means let's focus on the pedagogy first. How can we enhance learning for students? And then what tool will actually serve and provide that learning environment that will really enhance our students' learning in the long run.
okay, so it sounds like you're putting the students, at the center of it and not just the tools.
Absolutely. The student comes first at the center, and the students drive the learning. And I always like to share this little analogy, David, that I think you've heard me tell before. Imagine if you invited a builder to your house to come and fix your roof, and they get their huge hammer and they inadvertently lodge a huge hole in your roof. Do you blame the hammer or do you blame the builder? So obviously, I've posed this question to many groups, and we all agree that we're actually blaming the builder, the human being that's actually using the inanimate tool that is the hammer. So AI tools, I must say, they're not good or bad. It really depends how educators choose to use them to serve student learning and to really encourage that student-directed, student agentic learning environment.
Wow, that sounds incredible. So, Jenny, does this mean that, because you've got a conference coming up here at the International School of Phnom Penh in November, and we'll talk about that in a bit, but does it mean that if I come to one of your workshops, I'm not going to learn any new tool at all? Like, are you anti-tools, or is that what this is?
That is such a great question because while I don't focus on the tool, we actually do, of course, learn about tools, but we learn about good pedagogical principles and then which tools can actually help us to really amplify creativity with educators and which tools can help us to promote inquiry-based learning. So I'll give you some examples. Now, I want to say I'm not sponsored by any tool. I am AI tool agnostic. But some of my favorite tools, I think you know, David, are probably Manus, which is a great agent. It's a one-stop shop where we can create a lot of different artifacts and different types of products. I love Canva for education because their philosophy is to give the pro version to educators for free forever. So I love Canva Pro, and they've just released Canva AI, which I explore on my YouTube channel. I love Padlet and all of their AI recipes. So these tools, while I'm not sponsored by these tools, are wonderful vehicles, I think, to help amplify our creativity in terms of lesson design and designing units of inquiry, but they also support students' learning and help them focus on deep learning, help students arrive at deep conceptual understandings through carefully designed and crafted guidance. So,
Mm.
I do say some controversial things in the workshop. So, I won't explain now, but I do have some views about personalized learning, or I like to say unpersonalized learning. And I also have some views about
Mm.
how we use chatbots to really enhance our
Mm.
students' experience in the classroom with us. So, please come and join us to find out what are some of those controversial issues that we should be thinking about when we're using any AI tool.
Controversial indeed. I do love a spirited intellectual debate every now and then. And so, I'm looking forward to it. Sounds like, it will be a time of really good conversations as well. And, from what I understand, of what you have described, you first look at the needs inside of your room and then you decide which tool will best serve those needs. And so, that's great, Jenny. But I know that you wrote a book about this as well, 2 years ago, is it now?
Yes, I think, well, actually, just over a year. It seems like 2 years ago, but it was just over
Okay.
a year.
I'm just wondering, how does the book feed into, the in-person workshop? Might I as well just read the book and get everything in the workshop? Are they different or similar in any ways?
That is a great question because the book is used
Mm.
as the workbook. So we dip
Mm.
into it, especially if we have school leaders that are really wanting to develop an evolving unified AI policy. There's a lot of guidance in there. The book has a lot of easy, practical tips. However, as you just mentioned, David, I adopt a social constructivist approach. So whoever comes to join me, we have a pre-workshop survey. We find out, what are your goals? What would success look like for you? What are the learning needs that you request? And what do you want to achieve from our time together? And then that workshop is actually designed and created based on the requests from the group. So
Mm.
while the workbook provides some foundational practical tips, all of our discussions actually drive the learning. And so I don't have this fixed cookie cutter that I just deliver to every group, but it really depends on the group that joins me.
This means that the workshop is not only informative, but it's also responsive to the needs in the room. That's amazing. Jenny, you talked about school leaders and an evolving unified AI policy. It makes me wonder who really is your target for these workshops, for the AI powered pedagogy level one. Who's your target?
I found actually the full range from school administrators. Last weekend, I just had a tech director as well that was in charge of innovation. I had some school leads of innovation for their grade levels, or either for primary or secondary, and then educators pre-K to 12. And I love to hear the transformative stories, especially from early years and grade one and grade two teachers who really, last weekend I was running this workshop and I had this beautiful grade one teacher share so earnestly about how at the beginning of the workshop she had some preconceived ideas about AI tools and how to use them. And by the end of our time together, she had really reformed her beliefs and ideas about how to use AI tools to amplify her creativity and to make her learning experiences more joyful, more exciting, elevate basically her human qualities. I think that's what AI tools are here to do, to really elevate us as humans. And at the end of the day, we're never going to be replaced by AI tools, but how can AI tools augment and complement us? And so that it saves us time, but also gives us time to be able to connect with our students to build those strong relationships of empathy and care.
Now you're making me look forward to it already. And, we're fortunate to have you here in Phnom Penh on the 28th and the 29th of November 2025. We're really, really looking forward to it. I know that you love Phnom Penh, and so we're excited to have you here. But let's just say that somebody's watching this video, Jenny, and they're not sure what exactly this workshop is going to look like, or whether it's for them, whether it's the right fit for them, and things like that. You have described a lot about, some of those ideas, but I want to ask you, are these ideas that I can just use on Monday in my classroom, or these are more trying to shift people's thinking in terms of relevance and who the workshop is meant for. And you shared the feedback of some of the participants in your recent workshop. Who would you say benefits the most from the workshop? And if somebody is kind of thinking about it, considering it, how would they know that this is the right fit workshop for them?
I would say all educators of different backgrounds and different confidence levels with AI. So if you're a beginner to AI and you really want to just come and find out how I can use AI to complement and to amplify some of the learning experiences and creativity, learning experience design, or if you're a very experienced AI user too, it's about shifting mindsets. But I also want to encourage that everybody walks away with some kind of artifact and lots of practical ideas that they could actually use in the next lesson. So I think last time, what were some of the wonderful artifacts that people created? They were units of inquiry, which had lots of different lesson experiences that were inquiry based. Somebody walked away with a professional learning plan because they were leading the innovation at their school. And so they wanted to map out some kind of plan to bring back to the rest of the stakeholders to look at. And a lot of the time, I think it really is like, okay, Monday morning, I've got this lesson. What can I do? What can I create now that will really help my students and engage them? So it's both practical, but I think it's philosophical too, because we've all got to, I think, start off understanding what the purpose of AI is in our world and in our lives and look at some of the research. And then once we all have this co-constructed common
Mm,
understanding, we can
mm,
then use it as a springboard to really promote a lot of those pedagogical
mm,
principles, such as
mm.
inquiry based and UDL and differentiated learning and evidencing learning in different ways, as well as that huge umbrella of promoting inquiry and student agency for our learners.
Awesome. Awesome. So, two things kind of really stand out to me there, Jenny. The fact that one, it's not, an either or situation, right? It's not, that either you can use it on Monday or it's just philosophical, but it's a mix of both. And it's not, something new that is completely different from everything that we've ever done before, but it's rather something that helps us do already the things that we're doing really well, how we're supporting students with UDL, MTSs, and things like that. It helps tie it all together and increase teacher, both self-efficacy and effectiveness in supporting students. That sounds amazing. I can't wait for you to come, to Phnom Penh with this workshop. We're absolutely excited and we're looking forward to it. It's happening at the International School of Phnom Penh again on the 28th and the 29th of November 2025. The sign up will be in the link below, and so feel free to sign up. Jenny, any last words?
Just, I'm looking forward to connecting with you all, having these very important conversations on how AI can serve learners and serve us as educators and amplify our creativity and develop critical thinking. And come and enjoy the beautiful city of Phnom Penh, one of my favorite cities in Asia.
Oh, that's very kind of you. I absolutely love Phnom Penh. The food is amazing, just in case you've never been here. You would agree?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, the food is amazing. Again, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me, Janie, and thank you all for watching. This is from the professional learning team at ISPP. We're looking forward to having you, and we're looking forward to having all of you, our viewers, join us for this conference, AI Powered Pedagogy. Again, it's the 28th and the 29th of November, 2025. My name is David. Thank you for joining me. Thank you very much, Janie. See you